In this video, I will be briefly describing the RStudio environment in which we will be writing our code. As you can see in front of you on your screen, that I have an RStudio environment open. I have done this after installing the R software and subsequently the RStudio software on my Mac. If you are working on a Windows machine, your RStudio environment might look just a little bit different, but not substantially so. To start off with, this RStudio environment is split into 3 sections. We have, as you can see on the left-hand side, a console window, and on the right-hand side, we have the environment divided into 2 sections, the global environment and information with some help documentation present right here. The first thing we're going to do is to take this 3-screen environment, or this 3-section environment, and break it up into 4 sections. We do that by creating a new R script. So I'm going to go ahead and click on File in the RStudio environment, under the menu, New File, and I will be selecting R script. As you can see, there are lots of other types of files that we can create, but for the purposes of the work that we're going to be doing, we want to create R scripts. Once you go ahead and create an R script, you will see that you have an empty R script window, the console window moves down on the left hand side, and now you have a 4-section RStudio environment. These 4 sections are the following. The top left has our R script. The bottom left has our console. The console is where the commands that we write in our R script are actually executed. We can additionally write our commands in the console as well and have them execute in R. On the top right-hand side environment, we see the global environment. The global environment shows us the state of variables, data frames, data structures, functions that we might be using in our R script. In addition to the global environment, we can also see there are several other tabs that are present over here. One of these tabs is History, and this tab shows us a history or all the statements that we have executed so far. One can clear out the R history or statements that one has executed previously by clicking on this broom icon, and once you click on the broom icon, it clears the history as I have just done. We also see 2 other tabs, one called Connections and another one called Tutorial. And we are not going to be working with History, Connections, or Tutorial. Primarily, we'll be sticking to the Environment tab. On the bottom right-hand side, you also see 5 tabs: Files, Plots, Packages, Help, and Viewer. The current active tab is Help, and under this tab, we have an introduction to different places where we can find information on statements and functions within the RStudio environment and in R. We have a manual that has an introduction to R, how does one write R extensions, how do we import data into and out of R, so on and so forth. One can also click on the Files tab, and the Files tab shows you your current working directory. Very often, we want to write our R code and store it in a specific location on the computer. To that end, we have to establish the working directory for our RStudio environment. At the moment, the working directory for my system is my user folder, and I can see a variety of files in here. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to create a new folder in here, and I'm going to call this R code. So I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call this folder R code. We'll click on OK, and I can see a folder called R code that shows up. Once I click into that folder, I see that folder is empty and has no files. I can set this up to be the current working directory by clicking on the down arrow next to more, and I'm going to set this as the working directory. You will see that once I set this as a working directory, on the console I have a statement that was automatically executed called setwd ~/rcode. This is the current working directory for my RStudio environment. Any script that I write on the top left hand side under the script window and save will be saved in this directory. In addition to examining the files and folders, I can also visualize plots. Any plots that I create in my R script are visualized on the bottom right hand side. I can also see packages. Packages are extensions that are provided in R, and there are a variety of packages that come pre-installed, and one can install more as needed. You're going to be seeing a variety of packages that are installed in my RStudio environment. These packages might not be installed in your environment, and over time you will realize that as you need packages, you will install them. And so, to summarize, the RStudio environment is divided into 4 sections. Each section has a purpose. One allows us to write our code. The console allows us to execute that written R code. The global environment allows us to examine the status of variables and functions and other data structures. And the bottom right hand side allows us to examine different packages, plots, and also gives us access to the manual and help documentation. This has been a brief summary of the RStudio environment and what you might encounter when you open up RStudio. Thank you.